If you could go back in time and you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, who would you rather vote for?
I would vote for Donald Trump. Yeah.
And why so?
Yeah, I just have a really hard time with the left and a lot of the things they're pushing for. I've been kind of listening to the live, hearing some of the stuff you've been saying, and I'm certainly not in defense of a lot of that. Um, I know about like the Truth Social post you were kind of mentioning earlier about him calling for the termination of the Constitution. I don't think that's really fair to say in truth. I think in truth he definitely supports the Constitution. I wouldn't go that far.
Oh, is it
But
fair to say that he said that and he called for that?
I don't have like the Truth Social post in front of me. I think what I
You want me to put
remember
it in front of you right now?
yeah, sure.
Okay,
Yeah, truly, like I don't remember it. So yeah, I'd love to read it.
I got you.
I'm on TikTok. I don't know if that affects it.
What do you mean? No, you'll be able to see
No,
it.
it said it was on YouTube too. I just never mind. Sorry.
Okay. All right. Take a look at this. Hold up, there we go. Do you see it?
Sure. Yeah, I do. Let me see here. Honest type. Certainly. I mean, so kind of my initial reaction upon reading that is he's saying, "Hey, like our country's being stolen," which look, if I'd love to just give you kind of my breakdown on that. No, I mean I'm being genuine here. I think that he won, and I said I'm not a big fan of January 6th. I think that he
You won in 20. He won
certainly
in
has a big
2020.
ego. Say again?
You think Trump won in 2020?
No, I think he lost.
Okay.
If you want my honest opinion on that, I think it was a combination of, I think everyone said, "Hey, we tried out this businessman and kind of the different things that he said," and then I think through a combination of COVID, which wasn't his fault, and then obviously like the BLM movement with George Floyd, I think that those two things kind of created a large. Just I think people were like, "Hey, we tried this, it didn't work." And I think people kind of wanted to go back towards the more established methods, and I think that Joe Biden was elected.
No, so
But I
I'm not
also
asking
think
you why it happened. I'm asking you do you? I thought you were trying to argue that like Trump won the 2020 election, like rightfully. I thought that's what you were trying to
no, I don't
argue.
think that. I think that he lost. But what I was saying is that I think that he has a huge ego, which is fair to say, and I think that he kind of convinced himself that he won. And I view
Which is
that
a harm
tweet.
to our system.
I agree. I don't disagree with that. But I think that when you're kind of comparing like the left and the right, I think that you can go a lot of these things go both ways. Like I'm certainly not the idea that Trump is the only egotistical politician who doesn't maybe always say things the right way or doesn't respect our Constitution fully is
More so than the other side. Like you had a choice.
um, it's tough to say. I mean, look, like you're bringing up the Epstein stuff, right? And you're saying like more than one side. I don't know. Like, who's to say that Bill Clinton, some of these people aren't like, to be honest, I just don't, when you're saying more than the other side, no, I
Who's
think
to say
that,
Bill Clinton what? He was on them. He was in these emails.
yeah, I wouldn't say that he's a conservative, right? He's on the left. Hillary Clinton, that's his wife.
Yeah, but how was he in these emails?
To be, you probably know more about these new released emails than I do. I don't know that there's also enough that's came out right now to definitively say some of the things. Like I saw the BJ thing about Bill Clinton. Like I saw that.
Hmm.
Some of this stuff seems kind of vague right now. It doesn't really seem like any of this is like extremely extremely
Yeah.
outright.
Yeah. So, yeah. Like, what's your point here with this?
Is that you're kind of like you're dogging on Donald Trump here, right? But like I'm just bringing up the fact that no, I don't think the other side's any better.
Okay. How is Kamala Harris just as bad?
Um, We don't know. We don't know the full extent of Kamala Harris. I mean, did she not sleep with like one of her campaign advisors, like husband or something like that? Like she's certainly done all sorts. I mean, these
No,
all these people have done fucked up.
no, she didn't. She didn't sleep with anyone who was in a relationship at the time. The one person you're trying to think of was separated for like a decade.
Hmm. Yeah, and if I'm wrong on that, I'll own it. I'm not really super. To be honest, I don't really look into Kamala Harris that much. Yeah, I would say generally like just non-support of that side with a lot of the stuff from.
What do we perpetuate that you disagree with?
Sure. I would say, again, I'm not necessarily against like LGBTQ. Like, I don't really care if someone's gay, but like a lot of the just how it kind of never ends, right? Like with things like the trans movement and the drag shows and all that. It just
What
kind
do
of
you mean it
never
never
ends.
met? What do you mean?
Yeah. So like, for instance, like doing drag shows like in front of kids. Like, I just think that that's weird. Um, uh, you know, the
Why?
saying, why do I think it's weird? Because I think it is a inherently show.
Nope, it has nothing to do
Um,
with
hmm. Yeah, I
have
don't
you,
know. Every drag,
did
everything.
you ever watch Miss Doubtfire's kid?
Yeah, I think to say that that's drag is
That literally is. What about JD Vance doing
interesting.
drag? How do you feel about him doing drag?
Um, I don't know. I haven't seen him do drag. I don't.
Do you want me to show
Again,
you?
you can sure. You're coming for my boy, man. I love JD Vance.
I mean, I'm not coming for him. I'm just telling you that
I'm
he did
just, I'm
drag.
just, I'm just, I'm just joking a little bit. Sorry. Yeah, I mean that's somebody with a wig on, right? Like I
What do
don't
you mean
think that's someone.
somebody? That's literally JD Vance, dude.
No, you're right. That's JD Vance with a wig on. I think that yeah, weird photo. I just don't think that like I think that you're kind of twisting what I'm saying,
I
right?
don't think
Like,
it's weird. I don't think it's weird. I think he's doing
oh
good.
shit. Okay, fair enough. I can respect that take, but I just no, like I think you're like you got to look at really what I'm saying here, which is the fact that like in truth, a lot of these drag shows are like push-up bras, lots of cleavage, lots of skin.
I don't think that's happening in front of children.
Okay, and I would just say that like get on YouTube and look it up. Like it's like literally out there.
Go ahead
Like
and tell
it's
me.
it's
Give me a title.
okay. Wait, can I like swipe up off the? I'm not super.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I
I can
just won't be.
swipe up on this.
I won't be able to hear you until you come back into the app.
Okay, hold on. Let me pull up my computer then, and we can keep talking. I have a computer, so that's easy enough. Um, yeah, I just think that like the left takes it too far with some of the LGBTQ stuff. With, for instance, just like things like the misgendering, right? And when you look at like what's going on in the UK right now and people being arrested, um,
I'm
I
sorry. I
don't
thought
think
we were
that
talking about
they
the U.S. I don't think people are
sure.
getting arrested for misgendering people in the UK.
Oh no, no, they are. Yeah, no, they totally are.
Can you give me a source on that one?
Yeah, I can. I just got my computer pulled up. So, um, open someone's misgendered in UK arrested. Um, so yeah, I mean, you could just Google it.
What's the title?
Just look. You could just Google misgendered in UK arrested. Leads. Let's see what this one says. Yeah, so I mean, here's a BBC article about a preacher. I didn't read the full thing. I want to make that clear. Detainment of British woman for misgendering person shows free speech. This is the Suffolk Journal. There's tons of them out there. This has happened a lot.
No. What's the title?
Okay, so I literally Googled misgendered in UK arrested. Um, let's see here.
There's a BBC article where someone is claiming that they were being investigated by police for using the wrong pronoun. But that's just a
Um,
person claiming that there's an investigation.
okay. I don't know. Is ChatGPT a valid source? Can I look it up on ChatGPT?
ChatGPT is not a source itself. It's like you're using it for a
But like,
search.
okay, you're absolutely like. Can it link it to me? I'll have it link me to something here.
If you
Let's
have a
see.
source, I need a source, like a title.
No, that's fair. I'm saying that just because in the effort of time. Um,
We
yeah.
can bring someone else up and talk to them in the meantime.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Again though, I think there's more so than just even what we're talking about, right? Like, um, yeah. I just think the left takes it too far with things. I don't. I believe in capitalism. Like, I don't think the left gets on board with that. When you look at just the way that the left states are being ran, the blue states, it's just I don't I just for reference, like I live in
Blue
Oklahoma.
states are capitalist. We're still capitalist. You know that, right? We're liberals.
I just don't think you can say that that's true. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean
What
you're capitalist?
What do you think we are?
So you to what extent are you a capitalist?
What do you mean? I'm a liberal.
So you don't okay. So you want to become a multi billionaire. You don't want people to take your money from you. Like, where does it, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, to what degree are you a capitalist? Like, what taxes do you believe in?
Yeah, the highest levels of income. I'm okay with like 50% tax rates. I think it's great.
Yeah, I don't see how you can call yourself a capitalist.
How? Because I believe in tax.
I just don't. Yeah, I mean, it's literally like a capitalistic
What
free
what what do I
society.
what do I believe in then?
That to me sounds more like the government controlling your life once you've made it to a certain degree. Like,
No, it
why
just
is
said
it
that
that
you pay a certain amount of your income in tax.
so why should the government take all your money now? Like, this is like that's my point. Is like the
Why
government
should
should
you have
just
to pay
stay.
taxes?
No, like it's one thing when we're talking about the tax. Okay, so like I support taxes for roads. I support taxes for like stop signs. I support taxes for things
So then
like.
you're not a capitalist.
No, that's not what I'm saying. But
I
when you're
can't
talking about
believe you
taking,
even just called yourself a capitalist. That's ridiculous. You don't
you're
believe in the
talking
free
about taking
market.
50%.
You don't believe in the free market. You just said that we should have taxation. That's theft, bro.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
Yeah,
that's not what I.
taxation is theft, bro. Got to get rid of the entirety of the state system. You know, it's just only capitalism.
I love the trolling, man. Yeah, but like no, I certainly get what you're saying. But no, I don't. I'm cool with taxing like state taxes, right? Like to a small degree to like help with your community. I think that's
Yeah.
a lot
Do you want to get
different
rid of
than.
Social Security? Do you want to get rid of Medicare? Do you want to get rid of Medicaid? Do you want to get rid of food stamps?
Yeah, so like when you bring up a
Yeah.
lot of
You want to
these
get rid of all of
things.
them?
Oh, come on. When I said yeah, that was a pause. That wasn't
Okay, I
me
was just
saying
clarifying.
anything. Okay. So yeah, well, yeah. When I just said yeah, like that's just me talking. But no, like okay. So when it comes to like a lot of the different programs, like I'm certainly not saying just cut them out immediately, but I think we need to take a hard look at what is important. I mean, do you agree or disagree that food stamps have been abused?
I think everyone deserves food, so I don't know what you mean.
Okay, everyone deserves food, right? But also everyone, you're not.
Maybe there's one person out there that didn't need it that got it. Okay, now does that mean that millions of people should be cut off of it who do need it?
See, but I think that the situation you just presented is very inaccurate. I think that there's
How?
been millions of people. I think there's been millions of people that have used a lot of these different benefits that don't need it, and I think it can be used as a. I think it can be used to actually keep people down.
How do you
I
identify
don't.
whether or not they need it?
Honestly, very great question. And I don't have all the answers. I'm not trying to act like I have all the answers. But what I can say is that I'm all for helping people. And I'd like to say that I think you're all for helping people. I
How
don't,
do you identify that someone doesn't need it?
like I said, I can't sit here and tell you that like I have every answer to like everything and how to like solve the world's problems.
Then how do you think it's
Um,
okay to cut millions of people off of food stamps if you can't even
well,
determine that they don't need it?
and that's not what I said. I said we should take a hard look at a lot of these different programs.
That's what the big beautiful bill does.
It completely eliminates SNAP benefits.
No, it cuts 2.5 million people off the access to like food stamps on average every single month. 420,000 children off of access to free school lunch and breakfast on average every single month. Over 10 million people
Mhm.
off their access to health insurance in the context of Medicaid. And it adds
Mhm.
$3.4 trillion to the debt, giving massive tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires.
Okay. Um, yeah, no, and I'm certainly willing to learn about the big beautiful bill. Don't know all the ins and outs of it because I don't just candidly I don't study politics all day. But um, not as hate. That's just not what I do. But yeah, I mean, certainly I'm not endorsing everything in the big beautiful bill on this call, but I just think that as a general rule, yes, I do believe in taking a hard look at a lot of the different programs because I think they can also be, you have to look at it from both sides. I think that there's one side of, hey, it helps people. And then you can look at the other side of that and say, people who are against it, right? You can just automatically assume, hey, they don't want to help people. Or you can say, maybe people are viewing it under a different lens or a different context in the sense that like maybe it's also keeping people down because if you're enabling people to use benefits that are literally keeping them
No,
um,
these are for when people need it. It's the necessities. And you're saying
yeah, so
that
like
people being given the
sure.
necessities holds them down? I disagree. I
No,
think it's
yeah,
a baseline for people
uh-huh.
if when they need it so they can build themselves up.
Yeah. So, and I'll just first acknowledge that like I do kind of hate when people get super anecdotal, because I get that you kind of have to base these conversations around national facts and data, which I think you really make an effort to do, which I respect. But like in my own life, right? Like I grew up in a really rough area of Houston, Texas, and I'm telling you, like I saw a lot of people abuse government benefits that certainly didn't need it. And I think that's kind of probably a big reason why I feel that way.
Well,
It's
then
just
you have
that
to
I've
have
seen it in
some
my own.
mechanism of being able to identify when people do not need it. You can't just cut people off without
Absolutely.
having that mechanism to identify that. So
And I think that that's
maybe there
totally
is
fair.
someone out there that doesn't deserve it that's specifically on it. But that does not mean that you should be able to cut millions and millions and millions of people off of it without having
Hmm.
that process.
And I think that that's a fair point. And that's kind of why I said, I believe in taking a good hard look at things, not necessarily just making, there's not things aren't just cut and dry. But as far as your point about, you don't believe that it's a way to keep people down. Like I would just completely disagree. I do believe in enabling. I think that to an extent, if you're someone, again, making this very clear, like if you're someone that doesn't need the benefits and you are using them, I think you're completely being enabled by the government, to live a lazy lifestyle that, that person is not entitled to. Is that
Okay.
always the truth? Of course not.
There's work requirements in order to be able to get SNAP.
There are so, I, this is like, and this is where it's like a lot of these like I get what you're talking about requirements. I'm telling you right now, like you're gonna have a hard time convincing me that like you can throw all these things out there. You're gonna have a hard time convincing me that like people have really not abused things like welfare and SNAP because like I see it all that like I've seen it so much in my own life. Like I just don't know. There's I kind of get what you're saying, but like I mean, again, you want to talk about more things. How do you feel about like again, like the DEI stuff? There's so many things, like again, where I'm
Can
like,
you name
the
one
left
DEI
takes it too
policy you
far.
disagree with?
I believe here's my whole thing with it. Yeah, like the Harvard, and them discriminating against Asian kids and not giving them the same amount of points.
Are you trying to talk about affirmative action. Affirmative action's been shot down by the Supreme Court, and that's not DEI.
Okay.
Like,
DEI, like,
what's a
and
DEI policy you disagree with?
okay, so like, for instance, like a lot of big like finance banks and stuff like that would have allotted spots for minorities, for veterans, things like that. Which I don't think I'm a veteran, and I'm telling you, like, I don't think that like that is valid. Like, I think you
So
can look at someone's.
typically these policies are
Mhm.
for situations where it's like there are greater levels of interviews that are given to communities that have historically not been given interviews. So it's not that people just get the job for being of a
No, no, no,
particular
no. There
community.
was
It's
there
that they
was
have to be qualified and they have to go through an interview process still. So it's like it's literally just about extending the interview process so that
there were
they're not
mandating
having
hire
like a biased
requirements.
process for that.
Yeah, there were mandated hiring requirements. Yeah.
So what mandating hiring requirement did Democrats support that you disagree with?
I, I that's interesting. I guess I don't really. I just feel like that's kind of like the DEI thing as a whole. I'm not actually familiar with what bill or whatever actually like established that. Why certain companies had to have that.
Okay,
I
well,
can tell you that that was also a
I
thing
don't
in
think
certain.
Democrats passed that. I don't think Democrats
Okay.
advocated for like a certain quota on
Hmm.
employment. I never saw any
Interesting.
policy like that. And if
Yeah.
you're not familiar with what it is, then how could you particularly claim that you disagree with Democrats supporting this particular policy?
Shoot, dude, people are going off on me in these comments right now. Guys, I'm not a liar. I'm just freaking speaking about things I've heard about. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know. I just as a whole, I can just tell you that my belief is that no one should ever be discriminated against, but at the same time, it should always be about
The Trump
who is the
administration
most
is
qualified.
discriminating against people. They are
Like who?
actively utilizing racial profiling. They're actively violating people's due process rights.
See, this is where it's like with the illegal immigration stuff. Like, I also just get lost. I don't get where, like, why. I just don't understand why everyone's defending illegal immigration so hard.
Hey, I think that if someone hasn't committed a violent crime or bad crime, they should be given a pathway to citizenship where they don't have to leave the country. I think that's because the current process right now takes a hell of a long time to get into the country. And it's too long.
Hmm.
It costs too much to get into our system. So if we have a current system
Hmm.
that doesn't make sense, of course people are going to come into our process undocumented. Now, are people who are coming to the
What?
process
Why are they coming into this country though?
why? Because they want a better life.
Why do they want a better life? Like, why?
Because
Why do they? Why is the? Why
I'm
does
sorry, that's a
that is a
stupid
bad question? Why
question.
does
That is a
it
stupid
was a stupid?
question.
It was a stupid question. Why does America offer them a better life? Is what I meant to say.
Economically.
You think it's economics? You think that's it?
Yes. Yeah.
You don't think it has anything to do with like I mean people coming from Mexico, you don't think it has anything to do with the cartel, with the violence? Um
Undocumented immigrants are less likely to commit violent property crime in the country compared to natural born U.S. citizens by multiple times. Documented immigrants are also less likely to commit violent
uh
crime, property crime in the country compared to
So
natural born U.S. citizens. I can also point to
sure.
the fact that undocumented immigrants have a higher labor force participation rate, meaning they're willing to work and they come to this country and they actually work to a greater extent than natural born U.S. citizens, will actually which
Yeah.
provide more tax revenue into our system, which will be able to pay for different things like Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid. And also, the U.S. has actively destabilized a lot of different countries that people are coming
Hmm.
from, economically speaking. So a lot of people are coming and flinging economic persecution by the United States by coming to the United States.